Before we begin, take a breath. Feel the air moving in and out. You are not your thoughts, not your past, not even the story that brought you here. If this moment feels quiet, that is not emptiness, it is space. And in that space, you begin to wake up. If you wish to explore this depth of awareness, to live from stillness rather than from noise, subscribe, and let us journey into the now together. There is a place within you that is always silent. A stillness that is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something else. It is a quiet that lives underneath the noise of the world, underneath the chatter of your own mind. You have felt it, perhaps, in a moment when you looked at the sky and for a second, the story of your life fell away. Or in the deep of the night, when the world was asleep and you felt a sense of peace that had no reason, no cause. This is where we begin, not with an idea, but with a feeling, a recognition that you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who hears it. This is the beginning of waking up. The world sleeps. It dreams a dream of doing, of becoming, of achieving. It is a restless sleep, filled with the constant murmur of what's next. And so the mind, which is part of this world, also sleeps. It dreams of a future that will finally bring it peace, and it runs from a past that it believes has defined it. But peace is not in the future, and you are not your past. They are stories, thoughts, clouds passing through the vast sky of your awareness. The sky does not cling to the clouds. It allows them to come and go, and its nature is unchanged by their passing. Can you feel that? That you are the sky, not the cloud? This is not a philosophy to be understood. It is a reality to be felt, to be lived. Right now there is the sensation of breath entering your body, a gentle rising and falling. There is a field of aliveness that pervades your hands, your feet, your entire inner body. Can you feel it? A subtle vibration, a quiet energy. This is the life that you are. It is not a thought. It is a sensation, and it is happening now. The mind will want to label it, to name it, to turn it into an object of thought. I am feeling my inner body, it will say. But can you let go of the label and simply feel the feeling itself? Can you be with the raw, unmediated experience of being alive in this moment? This is the doorway, the portal out of the dream. The mind wants complexity. It wants problems to solve and stories to analyze. But awakening is simple. It is a return to what you already are, before the story of me was built. Before the layers of conditioning, of belief, of memory, were mistaken for your true identity. The human condition is one of forgetfulness. We forget that we are the stillness. We become lost in the noise. We identify with the voice in the head that is constantly judging, comparing, complaining. That voice becomes the center of our universe. I think, therefore I am, the philosopher said. But a deeper truth is, you are, and therefore you can be aware of thought. The thinking is a small activity happening within the vastness of who you are. The world tells you to improve yourself, to change your story, to become a better version of you. But all this does is reinforce the dream. It keeps you asleep, busy with the activity of rearranging the furniture in your prison cell. Awakening is not about becoming a better person. It is about realizing you are the space in which the person appears. You are the consciousness that is aware of the story, the personality, the body. And that consciousness is whole. It is complete. It needs no improvement. It is already perfect. So listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Listen to the silence between these words. Listen to the quiet space in the room around you. And in that listening, you may begin to feel a shift. A subtle letting go. The mind may grow quieter. The compulsive need to think may recede, even for a moment. And in that moment, there is peace. There is presence. This is not something you achieve. It is something you allow. It is your natural state. The world is in a hurry, but your true nature is not. It is timeless. It is still. And it is here now waiting for you to come home. The voice in the head, it speaks with such authority, does it not? It presents itself as you. It says, I am worried, or I am angry, or I need to figure this out. And we believe it. We don't question it. We become the emotion, the worry, the problem. This is the essence of ego, the unobserved mind. It is a phantom self, constructed from memories of the past and projections into the future. It is a collection of stories, of grievances, of identities. I am a victim. I am a success. I am not good enough. These are not realities. They are thoughts believed in. And because they are believed in, they create a false sense of self, a me, that is separate from others, separate from life itself. This me lives in a state of constant fear. Fear of not having enough, of not being enough. It is a self that needs to defend and strengthen itself. It does this through complaint, through resentment, through judgment of others. Every judgment of another is a desperate attempt by the ego to feel superior, to feel more right. Observe your own mind. Watch it without judgment. See how it compulsively creates stories. You walk down the street, and the mind comments on everything. I like that house. That person looks angry. I should have said something different yesterday. It is a never-ending commentary, a constant stream of thought. And where are you in all of this? Are you the voice? Or are you the one who is aware of the voice? This is the most important question you can ever ask yourself. Because in the asking, a space is created. A separation begins to happen. You are no longer completely lost in the stream of thinking. You are becoming the witness, the silent watcher. The ego cannot survive in the light of your awareness. It thrives in unconsciousness. When you bring your attention to the thoughts and emotions within you, you are no longer possessed by them. You are the space for them. The anger may still arise, but you know that it is anger passing through you. It is not who you are. The worry may come, but you recognize it as a pattern of the mind. It is not your reality. This is the beginning of freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom from the conditioned, compulsive patterns of your own mind. The ego's greatest trick is to make you believe that you are it. It tells you that without it, you would not exist. That without your story, you are nothing. But the opposite is true. When you are no longer identified with the story, you discover who you are beyond the story. You discover the timeless, formless dimension of consciousness itself. You were there before the story began, and you will be there after it ends. The story is a fleeting thing, a ripple on the surface of the ocean of being. You are the ocean. Think of the resistance you feel in your life, the situations you label as bad, the people you cannot accept. This resistance is the ego at work. It is saying no to life. It is saying that things should be different from how they are. And this no creates suffering. It is a contraction of energy, a closing of the heart. What happens if, just for a moment, you let go of the resistance? What if you allow this moment to be exactly as it is? Not because you are passive or weak, but because you see the futility of arguing with reality. The sky is blue. The birds are singing. This person is acting in this way. It is what it is. In that acceptance, a spaciousness opens up. The suffering dissolves. And you find a peace that does not depend on conditions being a certain way. A peace that is unshakable. Because it comes not from the outside, but from the depths of your own being. The ego will tell you that this is a defeat. That you need to fight, to struggle, to control. But the greatest power is not in controlling life, but in aligning yourself with the intelligence that is life itself. And that intelligence flows through the present moment. When you say yes to the now, you say yes to life. And life begins to support you in ways you could never have imagined. There comes a moment, perhaps not a dramatic one, but a quiet, subtle shift. It may happen while you are washing the dishes, or walking in nature, or simply sitting in silence. Suddenly, the relentless stream of thought, the inner narrator that has been commentating on your life for as long as you can remember, pauses. The flow of mental noise ebbs for just a second, or 2 seconds. And in that gap, something else is perceived. Not thought, but a profound stillness. A deep, vibrant peace. In that moment of no thought, you are still there. You are still conscious. In fact, you are more conscious than ever before. And the realization dawns not as an intellectual concept, but as a direct, lived experience. I am not my thoughts. The thinker is a fiction. The thoughts appear in me, but they are not me. I am the space in which they appear. This is the turning point. The great awakening. It is the discovery of the sky beyond the clouds. For a lifetime, you have believed you were the cloud. You have identified with its form, its fleeting nature, its vulnerability to the winds of circumstance. You have felt its darkness as your own, its dissipation as a personal threat. But in that moment of pure awareness, you realize you are the vast, open, luminous sky. You are that which allows all clouds, all thoughts, all emotions, all experiences to be. You are the unchanging background, the silent witness. The clouds may be dark and stormy, or they may be light and wispy, but the sky is untouched by them. The sky is peace itself. This realization is not an escape from the human experience. It is a full embrace of it, but from a deeper dimension of consciousness. The pain of the past may still arise as a thought, but it no longer has the power to define you. It is seen for what it is, a memory, a ghost, a vibration of old energy passing through the field of your awareness. You can feel it without becoming it. You can honor its presence without believing its story. The anxiety about the future may still appear as a mental projection, but you no longer get lost in its labyrinth. You see it as a thought form, a creation of the mind, and you can let it go, returning your attention to the only reality that ever is, the present moment. This is the birth of compassion. When you see the compulsive nature of thought in yourself, you see it in others too. You realize that when someone acts unconsciously, out of anger or fear, they are possessed by the voice in their head. They are lost in the dream. They believe they are the cloud. And seeing this, you no longer react from your own egoic patterns. You can respond with space, with understanding, with a quiet presence that allows the other person's unconsciousness to be, without being drawn into it. You become a pocket of peace in a world of turmoil. Your presence itself becomes a healing force. This shift in perception is the dissolution of the ego. It is not a battle, not a struggle. The ego is not an entity to be fought. It is a pattern of identification to be seen through. You do not destroy the clouds. You simply shift your identity from the cloud to the sky. And from that spacious perspective, the world looks different. The small problems of the me lose their seriousness. The desperate search for fulfillment in the future comes to an end. Because you have found what you were looking for. Not in some future achievement, not in a relationship or a possession, but in the timeless stillness of your own being. The joy of being. The peace that passes all understanding. It was here all along, waiting for you to stop thinking and to start being. And so you surrender, not with a sense of defeat, but with a feeling of profound relief. You surrender to the moment. You let go of the need to control, to manipulate, to figure everything out. You allow life to be as it is. This surrender is not a passive state. It is an active, intelligent alignment with the flow of life itself. It is the wisdom of the river that does not struggle against the rocks, but flows around them. It is the wisdom of the tree that bends in the wind, and so does not break. When you surrender, you are no longer operating from the limited intelligence of your personal mind. You are allowing a greater intelligence to flow through you. The intelligence of the universe itself. Feel the simplicity of this. Feel your breath, in and out. Each breath is a gift, a connection to the source of all life. Feel the aliveness in your hands, a tingling, a warmth. This is the life that animates the body. Can you rest in this sensation? Without needing to add a thought to it? Just the pure, simple feeling of being. This is presence. This is your home. In this state of presence, there is no past and no future. There is only now. And in the now, there are no problems. A problem is a thought. A situation is what is. If you have a situation in front of you, you can deal with it in the now. You can take action. But when you are lost in thought about the situation, you are creating a problem. You are creating suffering. All suffering is created by the mind's resistance to what is. When you let go of the resistance, the suffering dissolves. Walk through your day with this awareness. When you wash your hands, feel the water. When you eat, taste the food. When you look at a flower, truly see it, without the mind's label of flower getting in the way. In these simple acts of presence, you are connecting with the depth of your being. You are finding the sacred in the ordinary. The world will try to pull you back into the dream. The demands, the pressures, the noise. But you now have an anchor in the stillness of your own presence. You can be in the world, but not of the world. You can engage with the drama of life, but with a sense of inner spaciousness. You can play your part in the human story, but you know that you are not the character you are playing. You are the awareness that is watching the play unfold. This is a state of grace, a state of ease. The struggle is over. You are no longer trying to get somewhere else. You are no longer trying to become someone else. You are content to be as you are, where you are. And in that simple being, there is a joy that is not dependent on external circumstances. It is the joy of life itself, the joy of consciousness. You may find that silence becomes your friend. You may feel a desire to spend more time in nature, for nature is a powerful portal into the present moment. The tree, the flower, the animal, they are not burdened by a past or a future. They are simply themselves in the now. And by being in their presence, you are reminded of your own true nature. This peace is your birthright. It is not something you have to earn. It is who you are at the deepest level. The journey is not one of achievement, but of uncovering, of letting go of all that is not you, letting go of the stories, the beliefs, the identities, until all that is left is the silent, peaceful, loving awareness that you are. And in that awareness, you are one with all that is. The sense of separation dissolves. You look at another person, and you see yourself. You look at a tree, and you feel its life as your own. You are no longer a fragment in a disconnected universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself. Now, how do you live this? How do you carry this stillness into a world that honors only noise? You do not need to retreat to a mountaintop. You do not need to change your external circumstances at all. The transformation is entirely internal. It is about how you inhabit your life, moment to moment. When you are at work, and the pressure mounts, can you feel the stillness within you? Can you feel your own inner body, your anchor in the now, even as you engage with the demands of the situation? This is the practice, to bring the dimension of presence into everything you do. The primary purpose of your life is not what you achieve in the world, but the state of consciousness you bring to what you do. When you are in conversation with another person, can you listen? Not just with your mind, waiting for your turn to speak, but with your whole being. Can you give them the space of your presence? In that space, a true connection can happen. Beyond the words, beyond the personalities. You meet in the shared stillness of being. When you encounter a challenging situation, a moment of conflict or difficulty, can you pause before you react? Can you take one conscious breath? In that pause, you break the conditioned cycle of unconscious reaction. You create a space. And in that space, you have a choice. You can respond from the old, egoic pattern of fear or anger, or you can respond from the clarity and wisdom of presence. Do not look for grand, dramatic experiences of awakening. Look for the small moments. The gap between two thoughts. The feeling of sunlight on your skin. The sound of rain. These are the portals. This is where you find the depth of life. The ego is always looking for the next big thing, the next spiritual high. But presence is found in the smallness, in the simplicity, in the humble acceptance of what is. The joy is not in the future. It is here. It is in the aliveness you feel in your body right now. It is in the quiet awareness that is reading these words. You are already whole. You are already complete. You are already that which you are seeking. The journey home is not a journey in distance, but a journey in awareness. It is a simple turning around, a shift of attention from the voice in the head to the stillness of being. And you can make that shift right now. Feel the chair beneath you. Hear the sounds in the room. Be aware of your own quiet presence. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be taken away. This is it. This is the peace you have been searching for. It is not spectacular. It is simple. It is ordinary. And it is the most precious thing in the universe. Live from this place. Let your actions arise from this stillness. Let your words be infused with this peace. And you will become a light in the world, not by trying to be a light, but simply by being yourself. Your true self. The silent, loving awareness that is the source of all that is. And now, the words fade, but the silence remains. If you felt the stillness within this message, stay. Subscribe not to follow, but to remember, again and again, that presence is always here, waiting beneath every thought. The true teaching is not in the words you just heard, but in the space between them.